Good day, I'm Ivan Saikes de Belos, BS Criminology 4th Year College. My subject is CLG 5, the evidence, and my section is section 11 under Attorney Guimar Abdul Habar. The topic that I'm going to discuss, the CLG 5, which is the evidence, Rule 130 of the Rules of the Court, that the object of documentary evidence under section 1. The object, those addressed to the sense of court, ang sinasabi dito ay ito yung tumutukoy sa anumang pisikal na bagay na ipresenta sa korte para maobserbahan ng mga hukom at hurado. If the object is relevant to the fact in issue, it may be first is exhibited and second is examined. And the third is viewed by the court. And now, what is definition of this? These are the object or real evidence which is directly to address the court scenes. Tangible items presented for inspection or examination by the court to prove the fact in issue. When we say tangible, yung nahahawakan, yun dapat ang ipresenta sa korte. Distinguish from the documentary evidence and testimonial evidence in the value of lies and its physical properties rather than its narrative or written content. In short, iba ito sa object or real evidence na idiretso na kaagad sa korte. The requisite for the admissibility first is dapat ito yung relevant o dapat tugma sa sinasabi o may connection sa issue or kaso. Second is dapat competent o sinasala ang mga ebidensya legal na ipinagbabawal. Kahit may kaugnayan pa ito sa kaso, halimbawa ay may testimonya na nakuha sa illegal na paraan ng privileged communication na hindi maaaring tanggapin ng korte kahit may kinalaman pa ito sa kaso. Third is the authentication must be made by a competent witness. Halimbawa nito ay yung totoong witness talaga yung kunin o yung may skills na siya pagdating sa korte. Fourth is the object must be formally offered in evidence. Dapat yung kusa talaga na formal na pagbigay na ebidensya. And fifth is must be authenticated or requires testimonial sponsorship. Ito ay isang konsepto na legal na tumutukoy sa ebidensya. Kailangan ng isang tao or witness upang katanggap-tanggap sa korte. Now, we have categorized of object evidence. First is actual or physical or utopic evidence. Those which have a direction relationship or part of the fact or incident sought to be proven, and those brought to the court for personal examination by presiding and magistrate. Ang halimbawa nito ay anumang physical na bagay may kaugnayan sa isang tao or kaso at maaaring may pagkita, naririnig, naamoy, nalalasahan o nahahawakan na magpapatunay sa isang katotohanan dahil sa pisikal na katangian nito. They are the actual object that are the subject for examination. One is unique object or those that have readily identifiable marks. Halimbawa nito ay yung bala ng baril na merong serial number. And second is object made unique or those that have a readily identifiable. Halimbawa nito ay kutsilyo na may kanyang pangalan at ito ang ginamit sa pagsaksak sa biktima. Third is non-unique object or those identifiable marks. Halimbawa nito ay yung baril na walang serial number or common firearms. Then the second categories of object evidence is demonstrative. Those which represent the actual or physical object or event in the pictures and videos being offered to support or draw an inference or to aid in comprehending the verbal testimony. Halimbawa nito ay kasali dito ang litrato, video, models, and text message. This type of evidence doesn't involve in the actual object from the cases but serves to illustrate the clarify witness testimony to help the judge understand the facts of cases. 1. Object that illustrate, demonstrate, or clarify the facts of cases but not more directly involved in the incident. Halimbawa nito ay gumamit tayo ng testimonya ng saksi o pagsusumite ng mga pisikal na ebidensya or exhibits. 2. They are representation that actual evidence. Halimbawa nito ay pag mayroong CCTV doon sa pangyayarihan ng krimen. And third is yung representative evidence. They are the object that serves as sample, as a specimen or largest quantities. Tested to enter properties of the whole, example yung mga dugo, soil, tubig na pwedeng gamitin into court for purpose of evidence. And the fourth is the explanatory evidence. These are the object used to explain or illustrate testimony or facts in the case without necessarily being primary evidence. Ang explanatory evidence naman ay isang ebidensya na hindi direktang nagpapatunay na pagkakasala, ngunit kinakailangan upang bigyan ng tamang konteksto at pag-unawa ang iba pang mga ebidensya sa isang kaso or tinatawag natin na kagamitan sa pagbuo ng krimen. And let's move to the chain of custody. The identification of object evidence is critical, especially in the criminal case. This is particularly true for the objects prone to the tampering, such as drugs, firearm, or blood samples. Proponent to establish a chain of custody to prove that the object is presented in court in the same as that seized or collected. Ito yung mga bagay na makikita sa pagkatapos ng krimen at ebidensya upang maipakita sa korte. Now, these are the chain of custody. First is proper identification and mark of the item at the time is the obtained. Kailangan natin lagyan o palatandaan ang isang ebidensya upang magamit sa korte. Second is documentation of each person who had a custody or control of the item. Ang documentary of custody or control ay kilala bilang chain of kinikilala sa pag-iingat dahil ito ay isang detalyado na talaan ng bawat taong humahawak, nalilipat o nagtatago. Third is continuous accounting of items, location from seizure or presentation in the court. Ang continuous accounting naman ay isang tuloy-tuloy na pag-iingat ng isang ebidensya o ito ay nagpapatunay na ito ay hindi tampering lamang. Fourth is clear evidence that the object has not been tampered without or altered. And clear evidence naman ay para sa matiyak na hindi ito nagbago ang isang ebidensya. Now, here's the custody of drug cases and duly recorded authorized movement and custody of seized drugs, of controlled chemicals or plant sources or dangerous drugs or laboratory equipment of each stage. From the time of seizures, confiscations to receipt and the forensic laboratory for safekeeping to the presentation in the court for destruction. Ayon sa RA 9165 or ang Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act na ang chain of custody tumutukoy sa duly recorded authorized movement and custody ng mga nasamsam na illegal na droga o iba pang kaugnayan na item. Tinitiyak nito ang ebidensya na iharap sa korte ay ang parehong item na nakumpiska at walang nangyari na panimula o walang nagbago. Now, what is corpus delicti of the offense and dangerous drugs cases? The corpus delicti ay ang mga kaso na illegal na droga. Ang corpus delicti ng krimen ay nasamsam sa mismong droga. In a chain custody drugs, there are four linked. First is accused. Ang halimbawa nito ay isang taong opisyal na pinagbibintangan o sinasabihan na may pananagutan sa isang pagkakamali o paglabag sa batas o krimen. Second is apprehending officer. Apprehending officer naman ay isang pulis o ahente ng pagpidiya na humuhuli sa isang nagkasala. Third is investigating officer. Ang investigating officer naman ay isang opisyal na pulisya na nagpapatupad na batas na ang pangunahing tungkulin ay maghanap ng ebidensya. Fourth is forensic chemist. Ang isang forensic chemist ay isang scientifico na nag-aanalisa ng mga physical na ebidensya, particular ang mga chemical o nakukuha sa isang krimen. And the last is the court. Ito ay isang hukuman na kung saan nililitis ang mga kaso at inaalam ang mga katotohanan. Now, let's move to the challenge to object evidence. The object evidence may be challenged on the following grounds, or ito ang tinatawag na argumentong legal o pagtutol na ginagamit upang questionin ang pagiging wasto, tunay at karapat-dapat o admissibility ng isang physical na ebidensya sa korte. First is improper authentication, where it is a failure to establish the identity or integrity of the object. Ito ay nangyayari kapag isang ebidensya ay hindi napapatunayang wasto o totoo sa harap ng korte sa tamang paraan na itinakda ng batas, dahil ito ay maaaring hindi ito tanggapin ng bilang na isang ebidensya ng hukom. Second is tampering or substitution, the evidence that the item was altered, damaged, or replaced. Ito ay isang illegal na pagbabago. Ito ay isang illegal na pagbabago, pagpalit o pagwasak ng ebidensya na may layunin ng hadlangan. Ang isang ebidensya o paglilitis sa korte ay isang very serious, no, sa paggamit na maaring magresulta sa pagiging inadmissibility ng ebidensya at pagka-dismiss ng kaso. Third is a lack of relevance, no logical connection to the case or the issue that had ay nangyayari kapag ang isang ebidensya ay walang lohika o may connection sa issue na pinagdidebatihan sa kaso. And the last is improper offer or use. It is the misuse of object evidence to mislead or prejudice the court. Ang halimbawa nito ay maling pagpapakita ng ebidensya para lumikha ng impression. Ito ay tumutukoy sa paggamit ng isang ebidensya sa paraan na nilalayon na guluhin ang korte ng hindi patas. Now, what is documentary evidence? In Rule 130B, Section 2, documentary evidence is a document as evidence consists of writings, recordings, photograph, or any material containing letters, word, sounds, number, figure, symbols, or their equivalent, or the other methods or written expression of offered as a proof in their contents. Photograph include still pictures, drawing, stored image, x-ray, films, motion pictures, or video. Now, what is the documentary evidence? The documentary evidence is a written or materials offered as a proof of their contents. Documentary evidence ay tumutukoy sa anumang kasulatan na inaalok sa korte upang mapatunayan ang nilalaman nito, halimbawa kontrata, medical records, bank statement, or financial records. And last is deed of sale. Let's proceed to the recordings. It is consists or letter, words, number, or their equivalent record in any manner. Halimbawa nito ay may CCTV o video surveillance para sa kaso na panggagasa o pagnanakaw. Next is photographs or photographic image or its equivalent stored in any form offered as a proof of their contents. Ito ay isang tulad ng still pictures na inaalok sa korte bilang pagpapatunay na nilalaman nito ay kagaya sa krimen sa crime scene photography. Ground rules, a private document may be offered and admitted an evidence both as documentary evidence as the object evidence depending on the purpose for which the document is offered. Ito ay isang pribadong dokumento ay maaaring ialok sa korte bilang documentary or object evidence depende sa layunin ng paggamit nito. Halimbawa, isang handwriting na liham mula sa akusado patungo sa biktima. Now, in the classification of documentary evidence and their modes of authentication, first is the public document. It is considered a public document if it is notarized by notary public or competent public official, which with the required formalities, or it's a public record or of private written authorized by law, and also it is a public record kept in the Philippines of foreign country. Authentication of public documents, it is done by the presentation of original of proof. It is official assurance or certification under official seal. Or sa madaling salita, ito ay galing sa isang abogado o napapirmahan nito. Yung mga documents na galing sa abogado or pinipirmahan galing sa law office. Second is private documents, is authenticated truth as testimony of person who executed the document. Testimony of a witness who say the document executed or written. Evidence of the handwriting of the marker or admission by the adverse party reverse as to the authenticity of the document. Or sa madaling salita, ito ay document na isinusulat or diary ng mga resita at mga personal na medical records. And last, it is the incident documents. It is the presumed authentic if they are at least 30 years old and produced from the repository where they are expected to be found, and free from alteration or sign or tampering. So madaling salita, ito ay dapat at least 30 years old na dokumento ay hindi dapat hindi siya katanggap-tanggap if bumabasa sa 30 years na pagkakatago. At yun lang po, maraming salamat.